doing tonight?
Ashley.
Hello,
and
Ashley.
Evie.
Evie, I loved you on Pokemon. Being a Pokemon. My son has Pokemon. He's got Eevee and like Pokemon and Pikachu and
Pikachu.
He loved. Yeah, Eevee's a cute brown one. So
I've never seen it.
It's the only female one I've ever seen. There's a black one that looks kind of like a dragon. Then there's Eevee that's brown, and then there's Pikachu. Not that I watch that much Pokemon, but still.
Very
All right,
skilled in your Pokemon.
There you go. You guys are going to be on an episode of Boston After Dark's Carpool Confessions.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Taxicab Confession was the show back in the day, but ain't nobody taking taxis anymore.
But now it's Boston After Dark.
Right. It's all about the Uber.
Boston After Dark.
And what's said in an Uber? Obviously doesn't stay in an Uber. Not if it's on Boston After Dark, it doesn't.
No.
There you
Goes
go.
on the internet.
All right, so here's my question for you ladies.
Let's hear
We're going to
it.
do Carpool Confessions. Do you want adult or do you want mild? That dictates the type of question that's asked.
Let's do mild.
Mild it is. Okay. So now I'm going to ask you for a number.
Use a folder.
Give me any number and it'll pull up a question that'll be asked.
7.
We're going to do number 7, okay? Got to make sure I get you guys here safely. And here we go. It's time to confess. What would you like to do if you could do anything in the world? Oh, okay.
Oh.
If you could do anything in the world, which means no consequences, you could do whatever you want, what would you do?
I would say just travel the world.
Travel the world, okay. Any place in particular?
Honestly, Europe.
Europe, okay.
Like Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Going for some fine wine and some good food.
I'm Italian. So.
Oh, there you go. So let me ask you a question. What do they call Italian food in Italy?
Food.
Food, exactly.
Food. What do they call a hot dog in America? Food.
Food, there you go. Many people don't get that. I asked the Chinese guy at the Chinese restaurant, what do they call Chinese food in China? He looks at me like, what? Like Chinese food, what do they call it in China?
Food.
Yeah, he's like, food. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So you will go to Italy. Now, have you ever been to Italy?
I have.
Awesome. Where did you go to?
I went to a couple places. I went to Cinque Terre. I went to Rome. I went to Milan. I went to Vienna.
Milan. Ooh. You well traveled, huh?
Yeah.
There you go.
My family and I traveled a couple of different places.
I used to travel all the time with my kids when they were younger, but we never really left the country. We go to Florida and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I just much rather drive, so I stopped flying and I would just drive down there.
I love flying.
You know, I'm not a fan.
I love flying.
I gotta get a little bit, set up in order to.
Yeah. Some people are scared of flying, and I honestly understand it, but I like the adrenaline rush on roller coasters and stuff.
Well, I like roller coasters.
When the plane leaves the ground, you know how your heart kind of sinks as soon as it leaves the ground?
Yep.
That's my favorite part.
You know what's funny? I remember I did not like roller coasters, and I always made an excuse about my neck and stuff like that. And I was with my kids in Universal. I believe it was Universal. And there was the rock and roll, the Aerosmith roller coaster or whatever.
Yeah.
And my son's like, come on, Dad, we got to go on this. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And I used to be a daredevil. I used to jump off of roofs. I used to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
My son's like, come on, Dad. If you do this, I'll have much respect for you. So I'm like, okay. And I'm literally the whole time,
Let me guess, you fainted.
No, not at all.
You did it?
Oh, yeah, I did it. You gotta stand up. When your kid's there, you can't not do it.
Exactly.
But you know how you turn a little bit whiter?
Yeah.
When you get nervous and you get the little pit that goes from your throat to your stomach. And he's like, you really don't want to do this, Dad. I'm like, no, but I'll do it. The moment that thing came off, I loved it.
You did?
I was like, yeah, do it again.
You were like a little kid again.
Absolutely. So, fear can definitely hurt you.
I want to go skydiving.
But
I'm too scared, but I feel like once I jump, I'll love it.
Yes.
See, I hate free falling.
I would love it.
Well, you don't have to free fall long. You open up the chute. I actually was very close to skydiving one time.
My cousin skydived.
Back in New York, they had a plane, we had a company picnic. And they had a plane in Long Island. And anybody who wanted to jump could. And I was very tempted, but I'm like, you know what? My luck, I'm going to get the guy who packs the chute that just found out his wife's cheating on him. and he's gonna be mad. He's gonna put pots and pans in there. So just I just decided not to do it.
You should have.
Maybe someday, you know. But I don't know. That's kind of like, I like speed, but I like to be in control. But speaking of stepping out and doing things and then realizing how great they are, I recently, as of like a week ago, left the job that I've had for 26 years to do this full time.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
I'm doing this for you guys at home, so make sure you hit subscribe. That's right. I'm going to be out there 6 nights a week now, just to bring you the best content you could ever have.
And that's the episode of Boston After Dark.
There you go. Except you didn't comment where you wanted to.
If I could do anything, I'd probably go to the very bottom, like the deepest part of the ocean, the very bottom of it, just to say I went there. Because I know submarines can only go so far.
Right.
So I would think that I would go to the very deepest part of it, just to say that I went there.
Just to say you did it.
Or maybe into space.
Where no one can hear you scream?
Yeah, where no one can hear me scream.
Awesome.
Oh, to space.
The space.
That'd be
For
sick.
me,
I know.
honestly, if I could do anything in the world, sometimes people ask me if I would go back in time because I had opportunities of becoming famous, but no, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, because you end up acid cushion and you get the butterfly effect, and now your kids are no longer your kids.
I think everything happens for a reason.
Yes. I had a couple of opportunities of becoming famous when I was younger.
I do believe that.
I didn't take up on them. I was in a movie that won the Cannes Film Festival, but I got 4 kids that I know of that I love and adore. And the reality is...
Who are your children?
Huh?
Shout them out. Who are your children?
They watch my daughter Melissa, my son Sean, my little guy Adrian, and my other son Aiden.
Aww.
Different moms, obviously. So, I guess if I could do anything, I would go back in time just to the point after my son was born and start my YouTube channel then.
Yeah.
Start it 4 or 5 years earlier than I did. In which case, right now, well, let's see if that works. Nope, I'm still here. Okay. Because had that worked, I'd be in an Escalade right now with a TV deal going on. And you guys would actually be getting paid for this. But that's the episode, guys. So if you want to say goodbye, I know you like to shout out your roommates, all 97 of them.
Shout out to Salem Townhouse.
And
Love
Lawrence
you.
Townhouse. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Hit subscribe.